Greetings, I am Mark Krishik with Digging for End Time Truths, and we are back with another morning Breadcast. And we are following up on yesterday as we are doing a few prophecy updates, and we are touching on what's going on in the world and how it relates to Bible's prophecy. So yesterday we covered a new program that is coming out called Stargate, and today I am going to touch on a subject that is probably hovering around that Stargate issue, but also encompasses the entire world. So there are three scriptures, and we are going to see how they relate, that are tied together from Old Testament prophets right up through the book of Revelation, right? And we're talking about the appearance in the world at the end times of 10 kings. And a lot of prophecy people have thought that these 10 kings were going to be 10 rulers of nations that they are waiting to see show up. But as we're going to read here, it's not the case. So here we go. I'm just going to start where they're mentioned. First, they're mentioned in Daniel chapter 7, and they're mentioned as 10 horns, okay? Daniel chapter 7, verse 7 says, "After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast," talking about a kingdom, "dreadful, terrible, exceedingly strong. It had huge iron teeth. It was devouring, breaking in pieces, and trampling the residue with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns." Okay? So notice the 10 horns. Now, Daniel is looking at all of the Gentile nations that will be in power and rule throughout time. And he sees this final one, and he doesn't understand it because it's something that he's never seen before. And if you study Daniel at all, you'll know he's seen quite a few kingdoms. He's seen Israel at its peak. He's seen Babylon come, and then he's seen the Medo-Persians come. And he was part of all of those. So he knows kingdoms. But he said this last one, it was just exceedingly great. And he said it was different from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns, okay? So note the 10 horns, right? So let's go to Daniel chapter 2, where Daniel is interpreting the vision of Nebuchadnezzar. And he says this, "And as the toes of the feet," now Daniel is talking about the vision that Nebuchadnezzar had of an image. And it's all the kingdoms of Gentile kingdoms throughout time until the second coming of Christ. And he gets to the bottom, which is very close to where Jesus comes back. And he says this, "And as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile," right? So he's talking about this last kingdom having 10 toes. In chapter 7, he calls it 10 horns, okay? So now we're going to go to the book of Revelation, all right? And chapter 12. Verse 12, it says this, "The 10 horns which you saw," he's talking to John, the angel saying to John, "the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast." So the beast is this one world ruler that we're talking about, known to the world as the Antichrist. He's a one world ruler. He's not going to be a guy with horns that sits and wields fire and stuff. He's going to be someone that the world accepts. Okay? So, this says the 10 horns are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as of yet. So I want you to understand we're talking about 10 kings, but they're not kings from kingdoms. So how can you be a king and not have a kingdom? Well, you are a tremendous world influence. You have great power in the world, but it's not from a kingdom. I'm just going to throw out some things. If you are in control of all the satellites, then you've got kingly power in the earth. If you are in control of all of the food supply, then you are a kingly power in throughout the whole earth, right? And that goes with media, that goes with all the different things that are out there, and there will be 10 of them. And it says they will give their power to the beast. And that's when they get their 10 kingdoms. So we're not looking for the Antichrist. We're looking for the 10 kings. We're looking for people of influence that are in the world that do global things. Okay? And Daniel said this is going to happen in the last days. So I'm making everyone aware that this does happen in the last days, and we are getting extremely close to the place where there are people that have that influence. Listen, I'm not saying that this guy is one of them, but if something happens at the space station, are they going to call NASA? No, they're going to call one man, Elon Musk, and they're going to ask him to go and rescue these guys in the space station. If that was the case, my point is this: he has global influence, and there are many like him. Okay. And we need to be aware, and we need to understand that the last days, when it talks about these 10 kings and not having kingdoms, made no sense back then, but now it makes very clear sense. And we need to, like Jesus said, watch and be aware. So I'm just asking you to watch and be aware. Keep your nose in the book, your knees on the ground, and your ears to the Spirit. And we will see you again next time on the Morning Breadcast.